Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? We're back again with your Casper crypto live stream, and we have had some reassuring news coming out today regarding the Trump administration, regarding Trump and the imminent tariff deadline. We saw a bit of a pullback recently in the market because investors were starting to get concerned regarding the tariff deadline, regarding the potential for imminent trade war once again. And Trump has taken action to delay it a little bit, which is reassuring. We'll see if it, unfolds into anything better. And it leads therefore into potentially a bit of alleviation, a bit of a less FUD for July now, as July now has all the makings to be a very, very big month now, with the trade war concerns kind of dissipating right now, and equally with Crypto Week on the horizon in about a week's time from now, from 14th of July is going to be very, very big. So right now the market's looking quite strong today on the back of that news, and equally had some very, very interesting Casper updates. We've seen some big developments be coming out, the growth of the ecosystem more and more. We'll be seeing Shai also, he's taking the head off a little bit, which I think is a very, very good deal. I'm loving to see what Shai is doing right now. And equally a few more updates as well. Some are concerned because the Casper currency Twitter account has been suspended, but it's not exactly what you think, is actually not a problem really at all. We'll get into all of that and more in this stream. So as always, if you enjoy the content, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And welcome back everyone again to the stream. Dimitar, as always, first brother, welcome back to the channel. Future Crypto Elite is here. Welcome back, brother. You're doing very, very well. Welcome back, LB on the check. My man Trump is wallet 2. I mean, that would be a spectacle, wouldn't it be? That would be insane. A spectacle. So it would be a spectacle if that was Trump. Currently you can see wallet 2 is holding over 800 million Casper. Absolutely insane stuff. If that is Trump, I don't know if that'd be good or bad, because on one side of things, support of the US government, but at the same time I think it's a big, big centralized entity who has, could potentially monopolize Casper, and therefore, it wouldn't ruin it in the sense of, how you got other proof of stakes that are centralized, and how Bitcoin's increasingly become more centralized as well. I think Casper's still in the stronger spot in that regard for decentralization, but it would be, I don't know if I'd think, what do you lot think? Would you be happier or more bearish if Trump had wallet 2? I'm more hopeful that it's like Binance or a market maker as opposed to it being Donald Trump. I can see the benefits of it, but I don't know. It also just doesn't. It would make me feel a little bit concerned, or a bit. It wouldn't ruin my conviction in the project, but it made me a bit more cautious if I wholeheartedly knew that Trump had a big bag in Casper like that. I'm sure he's probably got some. I'm sure people in his administration have some. We know Tom Polinsky did announce around Trump's inauguration that there was some Casper given to the US administration. So there's no doubt they do know and or have a Casper. But how much is the question really? Welcome back, Falgo. You're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome back to the stream, man. Ernesto, welcome back, man. You're doing very, very well. Kryptoni, I've been here, just had a dead keyboard. Well, in that case, maybe you were first. Maybe you were the first one then, Kryptoni. Welcome back, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. Dimitar says that Binance is wallet 2. That's the most likely, answer. We still don't know. Right now, the biggest likelihood is either going to be Binance or it's going to be a market maker. The argument, of course, is that wallet 2 has been buying up Casper since March 2024, and Binance have been, with Casper, integrated with them since 2023 December. So it's been, 5 months before that. So it's been a long time coming, and the market maker, it can't be DWF Labs. Well, it's unlikely because they started partnering with KEF this year. It may be Wintermute because they've been with Casper a little bit longer, but ultimately, unfortunately, we still don't know. I'm sure it'll correlate to some form of clarity soon enough, though. It's a matter of time. Casper on X is so wild. This is a very, very crazy thing that happened, and people are very concerned about it. It's not actually a cause for concern. It's really not. It looks like Casper being banned, but it's not Casper itself. It's someone who was trying to impersonate Casper because they changed the from Casper currency to Casper Unchained, which we'll get into that in a bit more detail in a moment. But I don't think it's that concerning. I mean, again, truth be told, like I've been saying for a while, while they're restructuring and rebranding of the Casper Twitter account is undergoing right now with Christian Ludwig, and I would like to say the direction it's going in now is starting to be more positive. I still thought it was perfectly fine before this whole drama, but even then, I never really got my information much from Casper. Even just before the Casper drama started happening, I wasn't really getting my info from Casper much anymore. It tends to come from the community and those who are actively researching all the time. Of course, I do occasionally get info from Casper Commons, which is the original person who ran Casper Currency, or Casper Unchained now, being Chad from Rhubarb Media. But again, that'll come back full circle to that later on. If Trump was Wallet 2 and not being bragging about it, I'd eat my shoe. I mean, actually thinking about it, yeah, in a sense, if Trump was Wallet 2 and he was not actively bragging about it, then maybe that is not as bearish as I maybe am leading on, and it would probably be quite a big thing. So yeah, eating your shoe, definitely. Wallet 2 has been created when? Well, the creation date, let me see if I can actually tell. Casperlytics. It looks like it was, I mean, the first date it shows here was, or August 2023, but the first time I actually end up scooping up any form of Casper was in March 2024. So that's about 16 months from now. That's when the first transaction came through. So exactly how long it's been about, I'm assuming it's a bit longer than that. And therefore it could be Binance, because Binance therefore apparently were quote-unquote ready or meant to be implementing Casper spot listing December, which is around here, but they didn't. And now, it's got over 800 million Casper. So, I mean, again, we'll find out, We'll find out in due time. No other suspicious wallets to track. Nothing that's really caught my eye. I mean, Wallet 2 is the biggest suspicious one there out of the whole community. How confident are you on $1 Casper this year in percentage? Still probably in the high 80s, if I was to give one. I think we still got a lot more room to run in this rally right now, especially with the information I covered with my VIPs earlier today. We covered documents from Ernst & Young, from KPMG, from Coinbase, from FinTech America, and many, many more. And these institutional documents were talking about these sort of shifts we're going to be seeing following regulatory frameworks going for the next 2 years straight at the very minimum, if not longer. So again, if you want to find out information, find out why it's so big, the weekly live stream's already been reposted in my VIP Discord server, and equally the alpha information has been posted in there as well. So you can check it out for free, get a little bit of an understanding of what we talk about in there, and if you think it's worth your while, you can sign up. Also, 1 month free trial if you sign up through the affiliate link to BYDFI, an exchange I'm currently working alongside with, no KYC, no VPN. I still think the market's got a lot more room to run. The liquidity says so, and the regulatory catalysts say so. And Trump, his current step that he's taken regarding the tariff, I think is also going to be a good. I think it's a good development that's happened that's going to alleviate pressure in the immediate short term for the market, which I'll get into right now before we get to any more of the comments like Crypt20 saying that Wallet 2 is actually him. He wants to control 5% of supply. Well, share some of the love, please, brother. Please do. That being said, let's get into some of the sources first and foremost. Let's get into the first part here. Market. So right now, Bitcoin is currently up 0.3%, valued at $108,500. Once more, it's just trading just below 110k, close to that all-time high. We saw a bit of a pullback on Friday, and that's because investors, came to the understanding off the back of Thursday's unemployment data, which the job market data came back very, very strong, which is good. Strong economy, strong job market, but that therefore means there's less of a necessity for the Fed to start cutting rates. So it pushed it back more potentially. So while the job market seeing a lot more strength is great, it does lessen the chance of us seeing rate cuts, in theory. We saw a big dump on the day after on Friday, therefore, and equally because investors were under the impression and thought that come this week, come the 9th of July, Trump's 90-day tariffs would come to an end. So we saw Bitcoin go from that peak of 110k, breaking that, coming down to 108, 107.5k, 3% pullback. And now we're seeing it once more trade up a little bit again because Trump has decided to give the market a bit of a break. So the US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says Trump will be imposing the April 2nd level tariffs, so the massive tariffs on countries who do not reach trade deals with the United States, but that's going to be beginning August 1st. So we had those massive tariffs imposed, and they were paused. And a lot of nations were coming to approach America to form trade deals, and they seemingly have kind of stepped off right now. Bessent says over 100 small countries have not reached out to the United States for trade deals. Meanwhile, the tariff pause has effectively been extended by 3 weeks. So it's basically Trump giving a final warning, as the deadline would have been quickly approaching 3 days from now. Trump has just basically extended the deadline from 9th of July to the 1st of August, which is a interesting strategy. I think if I'm to give my 2 cents on the matter, of course I'm not a financial advisor, I'm purely a funny internet man, content creator. The way I perceive it is right now the market's in a very critical point, nearing all-time highs across the board, if not surpassing all-time highs across all markets. And we know that in regards to crypto, a very big move is coming regarding the crypto week coming up, where you're going to be seeing, starting 14th of July, the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, and the Anti-CBDC Act all discussed within the House and the Senate. So we'll hopefully be seeing the passing of the Genius Act, stablecoin bill, some more developments and structure into the Clarity Act, the market structure bill, and see how the Anti-CBDC Act comes out as well. Equally that week as well, you're also going to see the announcement regarding the inflation CPI data that could be extremely bullish. If you get good CPI data off the back of, reassuring and the passing of regulatory frameworks, I think July again could be a very big month, provided we get again, right now the biggest uncertainty would be again the elevation of trade wars again, which we've seen Vietnam come to the table. We've heard apparently China at the table. We've heard European Union are starting to come to the table. United Kingdom are at the table, already formed trade deals. Japan have been very standoffish. Mexico and Canada also very standoffish, and many other nations as well. So this extension to the deadline, I think, is Trump's way of saying the tariffs that I did impose are going to come back in case you forgot about them. But I'm not going to just drop it on you, even though you had 3 months. I'm going to give you another 3-week extension, giving July a little bit of a relief rally. And then August, when, let's just say in theory, the stablecoin bill does pass, in the next 2 weeks or a week now, he'll be signing it into law come August time. And with that, if you can sign that into law, and then, the tariffs come back online and you get a bit of a trade war, you'll see, FUD will always trump FOMO. It always does in these markets, unfortunately, but it might therefore stem the bleeding, is my personal hope and belief. So I think Trump's doing this because he's hopeful and adamant that we'll see a lot of good things coming this month, give a relief rally, giving the markets to go higher. Also because he doesn't want to end up, because he's having his August recess, right? 6-month recess where they kind of look at how he's been performing so far as the Commander-in-Chief of the United States. So he'd want to ideally have all markets across the board going past all-time highs and doing very well, because if that's the case, therefore, then he's not done a bad job at all, despite the massive crash that he pretty much solely caused earlier on through Liberation Day and through him launching his meme tokens and everything else, his agendas that, it definitely caused a lot of investor uncertainty. But since then, those people, the investors, have now seemingly, priced it into the market or swept it under the rug. And now the markets are looking very strong. You see the S&P 500 is rallying up higher every day, making higher highs every day. From its January or February peak, it's currently up 2%, which is huge for the stock market. The M2 money supply for the United States is equally nearing all-time highs. The global M2 money supply is at all-time highs. You can see the oil staying quite level, quite low, around $66 per barrel. Gold is nearing all-time highs, trading quite sideways right now, which is nice. Silver is equally trading at all-time highs, which is really good for silver. Bitcoin's nearing all-time highs. The only thing that's struggling right now is the altcoins. But we are in a Bitcoin dominant market once more, remember that. And with the Bitcoin dominance being so high, of course, alts aren't necessarily going to rally in suit. And because the markets have been so unstable, investors and that's from retail and institutions have decided to look into Bitcoin for crypto as perceived as a risk-off asset and more of a safe haven than the altcoins that are a lot more volatile. Bitcoin during this time moved... did I remove Bitcoin from here accidentally? I did. Oh, that was silly of me. There you go. Where is it? Don't know how I did that. Don't know why and how I did that, but hey ho. Either way, I don't think that's my market. I need to find it now. I lost my train of thought now. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin dominance is really, really high. So of course, people go into Bitcoin. They'll come back to altcoins when the market is more priced in for risk of assets who come through with rate cuts, come through with regulatory frameworks as well. So it's still going to come. It's just going to take a bit of time. That's the unfortunate truth of the matter. But I don't believe it will take too long now, especially after the development Trump's done in regards to delaying it. And in other news as well, in regards to a bit more macro as well, this is an announcement from the European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde, who has been warning that stablecoins could trigger the privatization of money. Which, I mean, potentially, yes, I guess. Is that necessarily a bad thing? I guess it depends on how you look at it. Of course, we know the ECB want to be pushing out CBDCs. They want to remain in control. Very much so. They don't want to give you money. They want to give you raffles and food stamps and tokens and, you know, have the ability to just control you in its entirety. Of course, they're urging for global regulations before adoption accelerates. And I think that's a fair point. I think, you know, having regulatory frameworks and clarity before the adoption really ramps up would be beneficial for the acceleration of this space and institutional adoption. I do hope that they don't become too rigid and too strict and too restrictive, because the problem is if that happens, you're going to see the whole premise of crypto kind of flip on its head and becoming just a new modernized centralized system, which is not the premise of crypto. Crypto's original purpose in regard to the Bitcoin is to be decentralized for everybody. Of course, Bitcoin being for everybody right now is a bit difficult because of how massive an asset it is. It can still be for everybody though. That's of course why we have Casper, therefore, being a decentralized and, you know, peer-to-peer medium exchange alternative to Bitcoin, actually being utilized as a form of money with good utility and fast speed. But I mean, again, this is me highlighting this because of what the person in power, Christine Lagarde, is saying. But know that she is, in my personal belief, I don't trust her as far as I could throw her. I think she is probably one of the most power-hungry people in one of the most, you know, in terms of a figurehead, someone who's like at the face or something, because you have a lot of people who are power-hungry behind the scenes, you know, in the shadows, so to speak. I think she's probably the most power-hungry and controlling political figure, leading head in the world. You know, you got Trump, you got Christine Lagarde, you got many. I mean, you got loads of people out there who are very controlling and in their own regard. But I think she is probably arguably the most. I don't trust her at all. I don't want to be in Europe when these CBDCs go live. I'll be telling you that much. That's not to say they won't be going live. I think that no matter what, CBDCs will be coming globally. Even America, I think in the future, will be launching CBDCs, despite Trump trying to squash that right now. I think there is an inevitable future where centralization will want to just get more control and more power, so they'll launch them. It's just how long we can delay them, basically. I need to find my other Bitcoin chart. I don't know why that's deleted. I'm very upset by that. It should just always be there, so I don't know why it's absolutely frustrating. I don't even know which one I use. Is it this one? I can't even remember which one it was. But whilst I'm scrambling around trying to find which one it is, I'm going to answer some questions first and foremost. It might be in the Binance one. I have no idea which one it was. I have no idea which one it was. Okay, let me ask a question real quickly. Did you see Wall Street Bet say you sold Bitcoin for Casper? Yeah, I did see somebody post that in my community earlier today. There was an individual who apparently sold his Bitcoin for Casper, which, I mean, good on them, honestly. It's not a bad play in my belief. Of course, you know, do your own research, trade your own discretion, but I don't think selling is necessarily a bad play at all. I think that is interesting and arguably quite wise based on the ROI potential of it, really. ROI potential of a Casper in comparison to Bitcoin. I don't know where it went. It just disappeared. Bitcoin. Oh, it's this one, isn't it? It's that one. No. Okay, I just got a new one then apparently. I don't know. That's frustrating. No, it's not even that. I definitely can't. No, okay. It's actually really doing my nutting. I don't know how the Bitcoin one I've all deleted itself from my trading view, and I can't find the right one with my charts already up there. So I now got to try and find whatever one that I was using. I'll just use this crypto one. It'll be that one. No, I'll choose the crypto one. Noob hour, am I right? Casper in 4 hour is looking like a rang and semi-ball flag. All you want to be cooking. Casper's waiting for rocket pump. We can check Casper out on the 4 hour real quickly. I always do it on the daily. I don't tend to look too short term. And yeah, I mean, you could argue it does seem to be forming that little bit of a, flag pattern right now. A bit more of an upward slope here as well. Does look like it's starting to look a bit more bullish and kind of consolidating in this zone here, getting smaller and smaller to hopefully then make a breakout above. If Bitcoin goes past all-time highs, I'm very confident Casper will also surpass 8 cents and then start rallying again. And as long as we can finish above 13 cents, that will be an indicator that we are in an uptrend for Casper. If you're looking at the weekly as well, you can see the weekly for Casper is still, still seems to be in that uptrend. Right now, it still seems to be forming that pattern of higher low, higher high. Hopefully it then holds above that and goes above 13 cents to continue in that fashion, which would be, again, very optimistic. People, of course, are making their predictions about Casper, where it's going to go. No one knows for sure. I'm hopeful it'll be very, very big in regards to its price. We have to wait and see, of course. One thing I want to highlight once more is how quickly an asset's price can change in such a short span of time. It's not me saying that Casper is definitely going to go to $10,000. It's also highlighting once more, as you look at other projects and where they were at one point in time in the span of just 3-4 months, they jumped 20, 50, 100 plus X in value. So Casper in that regard being a very innovative project, while lacking tier ones and VC backing, it can still see significant gains quickly enough, especially because of Bitcoin maxis. So we're going to get into those posts now before I get into any more talk. So the first one here, of course, is from V once more. V made a post here saying that I realized I was onto something big regarding Casper when the only objection I got from Bitcoin maxis, including myself at one point, was that Casper is 10,000 times smaller than Bitcoin and it doesn't have the same network effect. We couldn't say anything negative about the technology itself, nothing bad about Casper itself, just the fact that it's not at the same level as Bitcoin, which of course it is nothing at the same level as Bitcoin. This is where my curiosity truly peaked. I continually looked for areas of vulnerability with both Bitcoin and Casper. If you have opinions on the vulnerabilities of other technology, post them below. And he's still looking out for more and more. He's become a very, very big... I mean, you can see that right now. That in itself is big because the Casper there was not there before. It was just study Bitcoin, and now it's study Bitcoin and Casper. He's fully flipped in the span of 1 week. He spent a week researching Casper, and he's now become a maximalist of sorts. It's one of the biggest KOLs for Casper right now on Twitter, actually. And this individual, Avis, asked, you seem to be quite interested in Casper. Have you bought any yet? And he's replied yes now. Beforehand, he was just saying, I'm looking into it for interesting purposes. And now he's actually saying, you know what, I've invested. So you're seeing Bitcoin Max is now actively taking part and investing into Casper, which is really, really cool. And I'm hopeful that more maximalists will share his sentiment, share his enthusiasm for just wanting to research. They'll get optimistic from just understanding the technology a little bit more so, and they'll pique their interest. Not leaving Bitcoin for Casper per se, but just showing interest into the project. That's something that is truly innovative and technology advanced. And that will just, again, start to see a small bit of capital from Bitcoin starting to come into Casper. That will help its price go up as well. And off the back of that, this is where we get into Shai now. So Shai, as I mentioned yesterday, replied to V saying that he respects his question to him regarding doing a public X space, talking about Casper, but he, as no longer a core Casper contributor or anything like that, not a representative of Casper, he's not going to do it anymore, which is a fair enough point. However, after some deliberation and 24 hours and some private conversation with people he trusts, he decided that he is going to take up his opinion or his offer to have a publicly available discussion about Casper between himself and a crowd of maxis of his choosing. So he's made some ground rules here, highlighting that he's not part or represents the Casper ecosystem. He's just someone who, and has no bearing on its future, he's just someone who worked closely with Casper and never has a lot of insight on the project. The discussion itself will not be a public X space live because he is understandably very worried and for his own mental health, does not want to do a next live because people are going to be constantly throwing hate at him whilst he's talking about stuff. He just wants to give his insight on his expertise into Casper from a technological standpoint, and then V will be free to edit and post it whenever he sees fit, which I'm hopeful he will. I don't see why he wouldn't. So ultimately, there will be a discussion between him and Bitcoin maximalists. He's hoping even those who originally he had, had negative, bad blood between, the likes of Matt and Fred, who are just die-hard Bitcoin maxis who refuse to believe in anything else. He's hoping that he can get some really, really, tough cookies in there, because his goal is not to try and sway them from Bitcoin, but get them to understand more about the technology behind it. Because it seems like a lot of Bitcoin maxis who say study Bitcoin don't understand the whole truth behind the element of proof of work. Because if they did, then there's no reason for them to fade Casper either. So he's now going to be doing this discussion, which I'm excited about. I made a post about it myself, saying that I must say a massive thank you to Shai, and I do believe that as the Casper community, we do not deserve him. It's a shame what's happened has happened. I do still believe, especially thanks to this current development, that there will be a time in the future where the blood has simmered, the FUD has simmered, and Shai will come back to Casper, but most likely and realistically only as someone who is paid to be a technical expertise on the matter, not someone who is kind of doing it out of the love of the game, which he is still. I mean, he doesn't hate Casper at all. He just doesn't. He doesn't want to be loosely, or he just. I mean, he got done badly, right? Either way, I've said here, massive thank you to him. This could be one of the biggest turning points in crypto and Casper, as it looks like for the first time ever, Casper is on the verge of breaking through to the Bitcoin maxis and bringing another level of understanding to proof of work. Therefore, Bitcoin maxi capital could likely start trickling into Casper just small bit by bit, but that could ramp up with more and more starting to explore into what Casper is truly about. Off the back of smart contracts, I'm sure you'll see more start to explore Casper and what it's truly about. Core size level 1 understanding and technical breakdowns is second to none. He's actually the reason why my conviction in this project has never been stronger, because he has been able to help me understand a lot more about the project. And while a lot of it will go through my head, his breakdown of why Casper is where it's at and what it is just like, he's the reason why I thought, Casper is just second to none. It never wavered. And I don't think there's anyone better suited than Shai to kind of break this fourth wall and open the minds of those who believe in the ether of the Bitcoin, and fail to see that Casper follows those same principles. So I look forward to hearing the recording. I'm not sure about you all here, but I'm hopeful it will also open my mind more so to more of understandings regarding proof of work in Casper as well, stuff that even myself have either forgotten or failed to recognize. He's become a full-on Bitcoin maxis here we can see right now, block that is undeniable or undeniably more beautiful than Bitcoin, that is a blockchain even, which is a testament to say at the very, very least. Even code well stuff, one of the core devs said here as well, very rational and commendable position and ground rules. I love it. Thank you for continuing to advocate for Casper, despite all you've been through. Love the 4 out of 3 main reasons you decide to have this public conversation. Is particularly powerful to me. So, D being this one here. My disassociation from Casper and my disdain for its fan base and devs is actually a strength here. After the way I've been treated and the stuff I've endured, the egotistical thing that would be to write off Casper completely and treat it as a failure, denying the significance of the work out of the remorse for the builders. Yet I choose to advocate for Casper because launching it as the most viable tech in the space because it is true. You may not like Shai, and I think liking him or hating him is completely viable, both options. I like the guy. I think he's been through a lot, and he is, I can agree his outbursts on Twitter has been too much in the past, but I do think he is a man of logic, a man of principles, and despite how badly he was done wrong, he was forced out by us. Some stood up for him, some didn't, most just threw hate at him. The core dev, people he considered friends, equally didn't seem to support him either. So despite all of that, he has every right to kind of throw Casper under a bus and saying it's a failing project, it's not going to do anything, but he is not, because he can't lie about it. He sees Casper as something that is so innovative that is going to just take over the space. Hence why he's still choosing to talk about it and advocate for it. which I think is really, really cool. And we're seeing the adoption and developments in the ecosystem start to explode more and more as well. Hear more about Kasia messaging right now, which seems to be the most innovative app being built on Casper right now. They're currently testing and it's working great. They're going to hopefully have it available on app stores very soon, trying to fix out the complexities, or trying to figure out the complexities of listing an app, which is harder than making the app itself apparently, which is, interesting. But that'll be a very, very big thing. And we can even see here, the Casperlytics.com is now showing the Kasia protocol daily transactions. So we can see now, despite it still being in kind of private beta, the daily transaction taking place right now through Kasia. And that's really, really cool. So you can see now, KRC 20 and 721 being the NFTs and memes, currently got 15,000 transactions that have happened in the last 24 hours. KNS being 182 and Kasia being 265. So we're now currently seeing 265 messages being sent back and forth. So we can go on Casperlytics here, and we should be able to see it right here. There you go, 422 messages being sent right now, which is really, really cool things. And you'll see, of course, that rally up much more once it goes mainstream, once it goes public, once it gets more adoption, as the smart contracts come online as well, all that sort of stuff. Once more bringing decentralized messaging, private messaging, which is something that and also cheaper as well. And again, the miners get the benefit of, when they're mining the blocks, the transactions you make from sending a text message, you'll be able to mine those blocks and receive those fees as well. So it's all going to just stay within the ecosystem of Casper and just benefit it massively, which I think is really, really cool. They've done some big updates to this actually. I've not looked at this website properly for a while right now, and actually, again, it's nice to see they're still staying up to date with this as well. Not many people seem to have updated to the new Rusty Casper node right now. We're still on the first version, but I'm sure you'll see that switch very, very soon. The new version apparently makes things more seamless as well, which we did see Wolfie announce to Binance they should be switching themselves. Hopefully they have done so already. If not, they will do soon. And yeah, Ludwig's also right here. Protocols and transactions on Casper will grow towards infinity. I believe so as well. And before I get to some more questions right now, Michael Sutton himself, one of the most active core developers on Twitter, also made a post here as well, once more highlighting the explosive behavior right now in Casper applications, decentralized applications. So someone is quietly taking KDAP to the next level here. He had a previous post about it. We're seeing more and more development. I'm eagerly following, and so should you if you find this initiative interesting. Where I see it, the KDAP infra, although minimal, created the required isolation so that some people like Kas Experience XY, Kas Experience here, can focus on generalizing the episode side of the framework, so Oracle's contract at specific server sides, etc., while other in parallel can improve the infra side. Whole GitHub's right here. So it looks like this weekend they're aiming to, again, make some very, very big updates, which should, be a solid foundation therefore for episode contract and even Casper poker tournaments, for example. So seeing kind of every little bit happening coming through right now. Of course, people keep asking what's the necessity of Casper poker tournaments. It's just another entertainment element, something that could also be very, very cool. Time-bound smart contracts, UTXO chains, just a smart contract evolution as Ethereum, episode contracts, build programmable, ephemeral agreement to Casper, built on the KDAP framework. All the stuff here. So it looks like more and more is coming to Casper. I will be honest, a lot will go over my head because it's to me, it looks very, very technical. Of course, I'll be looking more on my off to see if I can find more about it. This is, again, the sort of stuff coming to Casper. Not everything, by the way, is being made public. Casper's biggest issue has always been its marketing. And there are many, many dApps coming to Casper. Casplex have announced that there are many dApps building on Casplex that have not got any X-marketing. So there's more to this space than we know about. There's a lot more coming out soon enough. We haven't got any announcements regarding the mainnets for Casplex. Also, interestingly as well, with Crypto Week coming soon, Igra will be launching probably their testnet during that Crypto Week as well. So that could be a big catalyst for Casper. I say that in the, more smart contracts always would be a good outlook. Igra have been very public about stuff as well, which is great. And seeing how their testnet works would be very, very cool. And you have that on the back of a bullish rally that might incentivize more momentum into the project. Of course, it's not confirmation, not financial advice. We need to see full launch smart contract and adoption and use case for it to actually start getting some significant rallying in value. But again, we're seeing how things are moving to the next level, which is really, really cool stuff. Now, I'll get into these next posts here in a moment, these last ones here. But before I do, let's get into some questions first and foremost again. I think Wallet 2 is a wallet for a few exchanges. Yeah, it's not about a theory, Ben. In that regard, then you probably say it's probably a market maker. A market maker that is kind of their whole role is to give out the necessary fundage and liquidity for the exchanges when the time is right. So it could be Wintermute or DWF therefore. In theory, Casper value is 25 cents, but actual value is 7.5 cents. I'd love to see the maths on that. But I mean, Casper in regards should be higher in value. If it is meant to be exactly following Bitcoin, which has disappeared from me again, then yeah, I mean, Bitcoin right now is near all-time high, so Casper in that regard, if it's following Bitcoin, or it should be following Bitcoin, it should be near the same value. But I mean, Casper where it's at right now is currently up 2.52%, 7.69 cents. That break above 8 cents, I think, is the next thing going to happen, and then we'll see where it goes from there. I'm optimistic it will continue making that higher high and higher low, which seems to be in that structure right now. So therefore, we could see Casper hopefully go up here, probably get rejected around the 15 cents zone, I'd imagine, and then we'll see a pullback, and then we'll see a next break towards 20 cents and above. If I was to hazard a guess, once more, not financial advice. Binance will list it when the price is higher. Listing it now when we're getting that much. Binance is a business, not a charity. Yeah, and I think that's also a very logical insight. Binance are a business, they're not a charity. Their whole goal, especially with a project they've got to buy off their own back, is to make money through it. If they're going to buy capital from their own pocket out of their own back, they're going to want to make money off it. And if capital right now, the value is at the Binance launches right now, it will most definitely cause a push probably up to 12, 13 cents and then a pullback. Or it will eventually just start going up again. But their whole goal is to launch when the price will go up from the listing by the rumor, sell the news, a pullback, and then immediate push up again. They want to list when it's optimally going to keep rallying higher and higher and higher. They want to launch when you're going to. Every other project they launch is a pump and dump. They don't care the project does well because they're paid to do it. They don't want to do it with Casper. They want to do it when the price is right. So I agree with that. When we think 20 billion is nothing for a crypto compared to the previous bull run, I mean, yeah, I think, $20 billion market cap is honestly not that much. That put Casper just below. My PC is bugging out today, honestly. 20 billion is just below $1 right now. It's a 10x from here. So 70 cents, 76 cents Casper. $20 billion market cap is really not that much, truth be told. When you look at other projects as well, it's really not a lot. So I would agree in that regard. I would agree that we'll start seeing more. This whole prediction thing here about where Casper's going to go next week. I'm more optimistic it will probably surpass 8 cents. But again, depends on Bitcoin right now. And yeah, no, I did see that, brother. I did see that indeed. The market went down as two people holding large amounts of Bitcoin, which had been still for 14 years, moved and people got scared. Yeah, it was partly that as well. I mean, there's multiple reasons for why. I think that would have been a big reason for it. And equally, yes, the macro and equally the investor uncertainty from the tariffs coming through, or were coming through, which are now being paused for an extra 3 weeks, which is going to give some relief to the rally and the market, I believe. Welcome back, Rayleigh. You're doing very, very well, my man. And you too, CryptoGosu. Welcome back, brother. You're doing very, very well, my man. And yes, smash that like button if you enjoy the streams. 15 likes to make 20 right now, if you can, please. Share your friends and subscribe for more. Welcome back, DD, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. Kryptoni says, so the central banks are privatizing fiat for profit and power. You know what I mean? Exactly what I mean. You know, it's the way they're trying to promote scare tactics to say privatization of money is really, really bad. And you could argue it is, giving it left to the economy, to the people, but they're doing that themselves anyways. They're just trying to say stablecoins could trigger an event where they privatize it from us, so we can't do it. It's ridiculous, honestly. It's ridiculous. That's why I don't trust her. I don't trust her at all. But unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to change it. These people are in power. All you can do is just try your best to make the most of it or escape it. And the only way to escape it right now would be to move out of Europe, which not everyone has the ability just to up and leave straight away. And with CBDC, you could argue you will never have the ability because there have been videos out there which promote the idea that with these CBDCs, you're not allowed to save money in there. You've got to be spending it. So therefore, you can never save to move elsewhere. You're forced to stay in an economy, in an area that you may not want to be in, but you can't leave because you're not allowed to save, which is ridiculous. You're already seeing some banks, some institutions prevent you from investing because they don't want you to make money. Whether they deem it as risky, whatever the reason they give. Like, I know Barclays Bank, for example, they don't let you invest crypto anymore, which I think is crazy. I'm glad I'm not with them. Saros. I've not heard of Saros. If you're talking about a crypto, I'm not sure about that. So Saros, 263 mil market cap, has had a very, very nice rally as of late, as of March. Still rallying up 600% from its all-time. Bybit, BitGet, Maxis, so big exchanges, some big tier ones, Blowfin as well, which is a big one in the UK. Well, it's regulated in the UK at least. Not the big Coinbase or OKX or Binance, but it's still some good exchanges. HTX is there, which Casper does not have. It's got 6 million volume, total supply is 2.62 billion, max supply is 10 billion, circulating is, okay, it's interesting. It's a ultimate app designed to redefine your Web3 experience on the Solana chain. It was initially launched with a DEX and is strategically evolving into a comprehensive product which aims to provide users with a fully integrated mobile customer application and a spectrum of functionalities in the area of ID, DPIN, and payments within the Solana ecosystem. So it's a Solana product. I mean, in that regard, then inherently the more adoption you see of institutions, and equally the more adoption you see of Solana, with ETFs seemingly also close for Solana as well. This product could potentially do a little asset could do well in the immediate short term. Has it got a great longevity? Is really tough to say because I mean, you know, it's tough to say because of, you know, the nature of where what the asset is right now. It's nearing all-time highs. Buying it right now would be, you know, almost attesting to top blasting it because you've seen a very, very big rally off it. There's no guarantee you're going to continue rallying right now. Despite the market sentiment, it may see a little bit of a pullback. If you want to go into it, again, do your own research, trading discretion. It's not financial advice. I'd imagine it's not fair launch in that regard as well. I don't know the tokenomics behind it either. Being on the Solana chain as well. Yeah, I mean, my whole premise on it, my 2 cents is just it's done very well in that regard as of late, especially since March. It did see a bit of a pullback around Transformation Day, and then immediately made a recovery and continued going up. So it's been getting a lot of, a lot of gains right now, which is good. But I don't know enough to really give a in-depth insight about it, so I can't say more than that, unfortunately. But I mean, the chart in itself is interesting. It's got some good exchanges, so that could be big for it. And with Solana ETFs coming out, that will probably bring more adoption to the chain, and therefore probably more adoption to the app in question here as well. That's running on top of Solana, so it could do well then. For what wallet I can use for IGRA? It's a good question. I'm sure we'll hear more about it in the short term. Right now, I know they'll be releasing their iCas. I imagine the iCas will be able to go through the likes of Casware. I imagine Casware. I know Casper.com are working with them. I know Wolfie are working with them. I know Wolfie. I would like to say right now, based on the knowledge that I have, which again I need to look more into it, I'd imagine Casware would be working alongside or be compatible with iCas and IGRA. But I'm sure we'll hear more in a few moments. Why is everyone glazing V now? He did know nothing about Casper until 5 minutes ago. Well, again, I'm surely hard. Okay, fair point, fair question actually, very fair question. And the reason people are glazing him, right? And I said the same thing myself. This man said 5 days ago that Casper's a scam. And then he got asked a few more questions. He realised that it was an ignorant thing for him to say about knowing anything about Casper. Looked into it for a little bit, and in a span of 5 days of him researching it, he's now become a bit of a Casper and Bitcoin maxi, and he's even bought some Casper. People were glazing him because he was a Bitcoin maxi who hated Casper, and Casper, of course, you know, Bitcoin maxi is always perceived as this like higher echelon of entity of people to an extent because, you know, they got in early or they believe in the higher power. They believe in actually what crypto is meant to be, Bitcoin. And the whole premise of Casper is trying to let these maximalists know we're not trying to replace your Bitcoin. We're not saying it's a terrible asset. We're letting you know that your whole ideology and ether behind what Bitcoin is as a form of money has been lost by centralized sequencers and by its lack of scalability. Casper has solved these issues. Now, if you look into it, you'll see where we're coming from. We're not saying sell your Bitcoin for Casper. We're saying just look into the project to understand more about why we say what we say. And this is one of the first Bitcoin maxis who's properly looked into it. And, well, he's not the first one. He's not the first one. You've seen many more, but he's the first one who's been very, very public about it. And he's equally asking very, public questions about it with the right people. He's also seemingly doing a job again, other Bitcoin maximus to also be more intrigued on Casper. And this is a sort of movement you can see with more Bitcoin maximus therefore asking questions because of this individual who wasn't scared to ask questions and stop being ignorant. Of course, many are still going to stand their ground, but the reason people are glazing him right now is because he's doing what every other Bitcoin maximus is scared to do, which is just to ask questions and research and know more. So just being blind and ignorant. That's why people are glazing him. Now, I think it's a big thing I glaze him, quote unquote glaze him, because I think it takes a big man to admit they're wrong. He said Casper's a scam, and then admitted he said it without any pretense to know what the project's about, and now he's looked into it, and he's taken his comment back. I glaze him for the fact that he's accepted his his wrongdoings, which people do not do. People hate being told they're wrong. People are very egotistical. Admitting you're wrong takes a big person to do that. So I respect him for that. Or glaze him, depending on how you want to put it. Casper 200-day moving average is at 0.095. It needs to get above 0.095 and stay there to reverse the downtrend. I mean, that's from the TA standpoint. I'm sure it sounds like it makes sense. I would argue right now, my personal belief, which my stance on TA anyways, but I'd argue right now in particular, with the structure of the market, fundamentals have significantly more impact and weight on TA. That's what we're talking about actually with my VIPs. The experienced traders who I've managed to onboard to the VIP group, who are TA experts, they said the very same thing, that right now the market structure, fundamentals mean a lot more right now than TA do. Because of how the market's positioning right now with the tariffs, with the crypto week coming up, all the information provided again with the institutional documents say the very same thing. The global liquidity right now is continuing going up. That's a big factor as well. So while TA suggests, again, reversing that, say above it to reverse a downtrend, the fundamentals is what's going to help it reach that. And I think the fundamentals right now to support that is going to happen. We'll have to wait and see again. If you want to find out more about sort of stuff again, VIP groups available, wop.com/coinfactory, weekly live streams, alpha information, trade alerts, educational videos, 7-day free trial or 1 month free trial through the affiliate link or BYDFI. You sign up through that and follow the steps on the Discord server. You get access to that as well. They're currently doing a deposit campaign where you can get $2,000 an extra bonus in trading until the 14th of July, so in the next 9 days from now. If you want to find out more, again, links down below in the description and also on my homepage here as well. And then link to the affiliate link to BYDFI, no KYC, no VPN exchange is also down below in the description. Welcome back, Greg, bro, you're doing very, very well. I'm late, but back after a few days of touching grass. Love that. Celebrating no more tax on tea, no more red coats. Yeah, you know it. And yeah, definitely have that time off. Tomorrow, actually, I may be doing something similar. I'm not sure if there will be a stream tomorrow. I'll have to keep you all posted. I'll make an announcement about it later today or tomorrow. But I'm also going to see a long time friend that I've not seen in a very long time is coming down for the first time in a while. So I just said, he's not going to be available for long. So you know what? Just let me know, and so it might clash. Basically, I'll let you all know, of course. But yeah, definitely sometime it's good to just take some step away from the market and again touch grass. Casper X suspended. Yes, so let's get into that real quickly first and foremost then. So you can see here Casper X account is suspended. Casper currency, people are very worried about it, but that is not actually the truth of the matter. People are very, very worried about it, of course, but that's not how it's meant to work. So the proposal in the Discord that was voted on by the community included changing the handle in order to keep the account going versus have it deleted. It needed to be as unofficial as possible and untagged as possible. So the way that apparently the community voted, I say apparently I voted for it myself, but the community voted that they hand the power of the Casper account to Christian Ludwig, and Michael Sutton was there as, I guess, agreeing with the matter. But he's now got the power of the account for now. And the way they perceive to move forward, they would change Casper City to just Casper, and they changed the handle from Casper Currency to Casper Unchained. That way it has pretty much completely rebranded itself. Now, I don't think that was necessarily necessary, but it's been done. This way people avoid talking about Casper as an X account versus what it is, a decentralized project, which is fair. Of course, that was a big... I mean, again, I still think the dilemma behind it was a bit blown out of proportion. I don't think it was that serious, but I prefer it being changed to Casper Unchained as the tag, but the name itself being Casper. I think that's fine. It's better than seeing that saying Casper City, or better than seeing where is it? It's better than seeing that saying Casper City or that saying Casper Unchained or whatever. Having that at changed to that, I think, is not as serious or that bad. And I've been posting quite a lot, which is, cool. Again, it's what we should be seeing now. Again, I don't really use this account anymore for getting my info on Casper. I have my own memes now. But they are posting frequently thanks to Christian Ludwig, and it's doing well. The dilemma is seemingly over right now. But yeah, so if unofficial, this is evidently some other... I imagine, therefore, if you type in Casper Currency, the account... well, I can't even see it right now, but apparently it's been suspended. But it's not actually... so it looks like it's something else. So somebody else has made an account called Casper Currency because the tag is no longer taken up, basically. That's what I imagine has happened. You can see the token distro if you scroll down. Obviously not fair launched. It's a proof of stake. Can't be fair launched. It's literally impossible. Yeah, I mean, actually you're completely right. Yeah, if I scrolled further down, I could have seen the distribution of the token right here. There. So you can see allocation. So you got community development had 10%, investors 15%, ecosystem growth 20%, core contributors 20%, reserve 20%, community airdrops 5%, and liquidity provisions 10%, with 26% have been unlocked and 73 being locked right now. So I'm a bit confused in regards to where does the... So that is community developments. That's investors. Does that mean early investors, therefore? That's ecosystem growth, core contributors, reserve, airdrops fine, and then liquidity provision. So I'm confused exactly where where it's like the actual community ability to buy it, therefore. It doesn't say here like, oh, just like public or just like community sale, whatever it is. So, but either way, it's going to be what, at most, I'd imagine 30%, at most 30% is available for the community. Most of it's locked up by the insider team. So again, once more, understanding of proof of stakes, proof of works, and token distribution. Be very, very careful on what you hold. Maybe they rugged you. Done very well recently. Of course, that might just be a way to try and get you to top blast it for them to be exit liquidity. So be very, very careful about that. Casper, long hold. Don't be stupid, just hold. Indeed, Israel, brother. Indeed, don't be emotional, be logical. Keep your conviction. Oh, we are replacing it. I mean, yeah, you could argue we are replacing Bitcoin, although I think that's a long future ahead if we do that. I know I just said do, funny. But I think it's good that we're starting to see maximalists starting to actually appreciate Casper for what it is, This is a different cycle. It's going to be a long bull run. Have patience. There's a lot of, speculation around our supports, I believe, as well. So I'm not against the idea of that. Sounds like a mindset TA from earlier today. Be careful with him. Where's the quote? I'm trying to see. Oh, about the 200 moving average thing. Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. I mean whether it is crypto mindset or not, I don't entirely know. But from what I have seen from the people who I have brought in, who I trust wholeheartedly, who've been very, very accurate on judging the market regarding TA. They say right now that TA is not useless, but TA right now is good for judging the zones and where it's going to reject and find support. But right now we are definitely in a fundamental driven market cycle or market right now. When we have nothing going on, when nothing was really moving, like for Ethereum Here, for example, since May, this is very much TA letting you know the zones between it where it's going to move. That's fine. But right now, the next big move for Ethereum is going to be based off, with up or down, based off fundamental developments. And I'm going to find a Bitcoin. I can't believe I did that. You're going to be here tomorrow because markets are going to explode. I mean, I'll try, brother. I'll try again. I'm not entirely sure. I'm meant to be, I think, going to see him around early, well, like brunch time ish. So like AM's going into PM, but how long? It's also like, from my knowledge, like other side of London from where I'm based. So I'll see if I can get back in time. If not, I mean, I plan to at least upload a video talking about some of these smart contract developments in Casper, so you can get some content in that regard. But whether I'll be able to cover information, get a live stream up, we'll have to wait and see. Worst case, I'll put an update in the Discord. Worst case in regard to what's happening in the market. But otherwise, then I'll let you know. I'll be sure to keep you all posted. You played the Chaos 50 Battle of Card games, though I have not played any games regarding Chaos 50 just yet. I plan to definitely delve into the ecosystem a little bit more as it grows more and more. Right now, my exposure to Chaos 20 is pretty much just been holding Wolfie, holding Nacho, holding some NFTs. I look forward to trying out other stuff like the chess stuff, like the Kasia stuff, and much, much more. Is intriguing. Yeah. Super slow in the chat today. I mean, yeah, as expected. It's a Sunday, right? Most of my active days tend to be on big Casper update days or typically midweek. People who on the weekend take some time off and touch grass or spend time with family from the looks of things, I guess. Not that I would know. I'm here pretty much every single day, as most of you are as well. But yeah, I mean, the markets are showing strength. It's good, but it's not, as quick as usual. And I think people right now are just kind of patiently waiting and tired and want to see this market to kind of take off, which again will hopefully happen soon, but we'll have to wait and see. Right now, again, price is looking okay. If you look at Casper right now on CMC, we can see the volume right now is at 44 million. Again, relatively lackluster, but BitGet's still dominating it. And we'll have to just see, the volume rally up with, again, the sentiment changing. Again, the next week's going to be, for me, probably setting up the stage for what's to come. Following that, we'll have to wait and see. I think 14th of July is going to be a very, very big week. Very big week for crypto. Does anyone have a whiplash from Tariff's back and forth announcements? Oh yeah. I mean, definitely. It's definitely caused some relief in the rally today, which is nice. But at the same time, don't take this as utmost bullish news, because if this is causing a relief, cool, as expected. If we get no trade deals coming through, it's just going to delay a potential, therefore, trade war later on. So we'll have to wait and see right now. Of course, the big dates I'm looking out for, those who may be asking, 9th of July, despite the tariffs have been extended, we do have some Congress discussions happening that day regarding what's happening the following week, so 9th of July. Equally, in the week of 14th of July, you're going to see all the discussions regarding the stablecoin, the market structure, and the anti-CBDC stuff. You'll be seeing likely the IGRA testnet coming up then as well. And you'll be seeing a lot more. And you also have the CPI inflation coming out on the 15th. That'll be very, very big. So those are the key catalysts, if you will, that I'm looking out for right now that I think will cause a significant move in the markets and potentially some good movement. Again, depending on the announcement, we've got to keep that very close idea on it, But that being said, that'll be for today's Casper and Crypto live stream. If you enjoyed, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Trump's extended the tariff deadline, very nice to see, and the ecosystem for Casper is growing more and more. Cannot put it down, more is coming. We have this update here as well I've not gotten into, which is nothing too major, just once more marathon to June update, once more leaving Casper unmentioned. We know they're mining Casper on 10 BPS, just not talking about it right now. They'll talk about it again in the future, I'm sure, when the markets rally and Casper gets more adoption with its smart contracts. All of that will come through in due time. That means have a great day, good evening, good night. If you enjoyed, leave a like, share your friends, for more, and I will see you all hopefully tomorrow. If not, then either way, I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now.